This is Scott with eTrailer, and today we're going to be going over and installing our B&W Patriot Fifth Wheel for our 2023 Ram 2500. If you've been looking at the fifth wheel options for your truck, I'm sure you've seen B&W, and with these guys, they are really built really nice. It's really high quality. The finish is a really nice gray powder coat, which I really like. This one is actually going to be a really economical option if this is something you're just getting into with the fifth wheel. Maybe you just got a fifth wheel camper or something like this. This is going to be a really economical way to get started in that. The Patriot system here has been around for a long time, and it's really nice. It's been trusted by a lot of our neighbors. We've actually had people come back with their Patriot system out of their old truck and bring it in for us to have installed into a different truck that they have, and they've went through a couple different trucks, sometimes 3 different trucks with the same system, and it holds up really well for them. They like it so much, instead of getting a new system, they just keep the one they have and just put it in another truck. As far as tow capacities with this one, you're going to have 18,000 pound gross trailer weight rating, and that's going to be your trailer and everything in it, so it's a really heavy duty unit. And as far as your tongue rating, as far as pushing down in this area here, that's going to be 4,500 pounds, and that's going to be the weight of the tongue pushing down on this section of the hitch itself. Inside the head here, you're going to see that we have real thick 1/4 inch double jaws in there, and you can see that when your trailer comes in and it pops in there, it's going to grab all the way around it there, and it's going to give it a really solid grip on it, and it's not going to be bucking around in there at all. Right here inside of the head here, it's going to have these bushings inside here, so the weight of your trailer is not going to be, you're not going to feel all that transferring through down into the frame and into the truck. It's going to give it a little bit of almost like a mini suspension system in here, so it's not going to have that jarring as much. Your handle is going to lock in place with a pin, so that makes everything nice and secure. You're not going to have to worry about that coming undone at all. So if you ever need to remove the head and get it out of the way, it's going to have 2 handles here, and all you have to do is just pull up on the handles and it'll pull it right up out of the way. To put it back in place, all you're going to do is just set it down, let your handles down, and it's locked right back in. The head here is going to articulate. So when you go ahead and you're backing your trailer in, it's going to move around. It's going to be spring loaded, so it's going to be easier for it to just slide in place and click in for you. Another thing you're going to want to do is you're always going to want to use a lube plate on top of here, and that's just going to extend the life of the head itself and keep it from getting all marred up. It'll transfer the wearing into the lube plate itself and also give it a smoother ride when you're going down the road. This one is going to allow you to make it easier to park your camper when you're going to a site or something. When it has a little bit of tight space, you're going to be able to pop this handle, and you're going to be able to let this come back, and it's going to lock to the rearward position. That's going to allow you to give it a little more articulation and to swing the back of your truck around without having to worry about your trailer coming in contact with the back of the cab. Now this is a position that's going to be basically for parking and maneuvering the trailer only. So you're going to want to have it in the towed position and let it come back forward. And it will lock into place. Make sure your handle's down, and that'll be your tow position for this one because it's over the axles, and that's where it's going to have its most stability and support for your camper. What you're going to have is you're absolutely going to have the rail kit. These are kind of a universal thing, so you can get other rail kits from, say, Kurt. You know, they're going to have a rail kit that is a little bit lower, and it's going to have a black finish. It's going to blend in a little better. We went with these because they did come in our kit, so you do have options out there. As long as it's an ISR rail system, it's going to fit with this and all your other fifth wheel systems that you have. So if you're concerned about the color, maybe the details of it, kind of take a look around, and other rail systems will work for it. Another thing to mention though is B&W's rails do sit a little taller than all the other ones, so if you're worried about it sitting a little too high, then you may want to take a look at other rails. But for me personally, to get it all in a kit and have everything all together ready to go, and I know everything's going to work together because it's from one brand, that's kind of the way I would go with it, just so I know everything fits together just right because it's coming from the same company and I know I'm getting quality stuff from B&W. To start our installation for our uprights for our B&W Patriot slider hitch, we're going to need to get our spring system here set up. And here we have our driver's side upright, and we have it going to end up setting it up to where we're going to have the most clearance from our cab. So in your manual, when you set this up, you're going to be able to look and see which way you want these set up so it gives you whatever clearance you need. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get this all put together. So we're going to take our spring and we're going to take this part of our spring and run it right on top of our clip. And we're going to run the bolt side through the back. And then we're going to take our nut, our nylock nut, and get it tightened down finger tight. Yeah, we can take a wrench. And our socket, and just get it tightened down. Now where we want to put our spring is we want it to be a 1/2 inch from the top of here. So what I usually like to do is just put a little mark where the spring's going to go, instead of trying to hold your tape. That way you know right where to put it. Now we'll just take a mallet and get it put in place. And once you get it on, you can kind of adjust it up and down with your hammer as well. So just get it popped on. Now this clip can be a little bit of a fight to get it in place. So what I did, instead of messing around with the rubber mallet, what I did is just went with a real hammer and just got it popped down in place, and we have it lined up at our 1/2 inch mark. So now our next step, we'll move up to getting into the bed of the truck and we'll get them installed on our hitch. Where you put your uprights, it really depends on where you need them to be as far as where the head height is for your fifth wheel setup. So you're going to have your lowest setting, which would be down to 17 inches, up to your highest setting, which would be 19 inches. We're going to set ours up right at around the 18-inch level. And we're just going to take our bolts and we're going to go to the second row down and we'll get our top ones put in there. Just want to get them started in finger tight. And as far as your hardware goes, you're just going to use your bolt and you're going to use a split washer. And just line it up and get them started. Once you have them all started and got them in there finger tight, just going to snug them down with the ratchet. And we're going to use our 3/4 inch socket and just bring them down good and snug. Now that we have everything snug down, we'll come back through and we'll torque them all down to the torque specifications in our instruction manual. Now we're going to get our handle put together, and we have our Allen bolts through, and then we're going to be 7/32, and our nuts for that are going to be 9/16. So we just pop them through, we put our handle in place, just run it up. And just like everything else, start them by hand, get them up finger tight, just enough to hold it in place. Before we put our head in place, what we're going to do is just get some of our grease put on here, and it did come with the kit as well. Just want to get a bunch of it on there and kind of spread it around. We're just going to drop the head into place. You want to pick it up by the handles and just set it down on there. Let your handles go, and that's going to lock it in place. With everything all put in place, then you're ready to go ahead and get your your trailer all set up and couple and uncouple, and just kind of go through your manual and make sure you have everything set up right the way you want it. And if you get all that done a couple times, then you're all ready to tow. And that was a look at the B&W Patriot for our 2023 Ram 2500. I'm Scott with eTrailer, and thanks for watching.